Welcome to Jennifer to the Rescue, and happy 2015 already. I can't believe it. And I was worried about year 2000. How many years ago was that? I don't know. Goes by too fast. I am Jennifer Johnson. I'm your lyrical appreciation expert. And thank you to Logan Street Signs and Banners and Jim Wofford, and we're here in the Wofford Theater, for being wonderful sponsors. We get to come in here every week and share. And actually, this is kind of a special edition because our guest definitely requires that we do that. It's an obligation to share the wonderful information that we have here with Michelle Mayer with the Indiana Attorney General's Office. You're the Director of Outreach, and you know that already, don't you? And we, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Nice to be with you today.
It's nice to have you back. Actually, we met last year and had I had the pleasure of spending time with you and a couple other people in a similar kind of format, and we're going to cover a lot of the information. Tell us, what do you do?
Well, I travel the state of Indiana, all 92 counties, my staff and I, and we take the services of the Office of the Indiana Attorney General directly into communities. And a good part of that is warning citizens about scams and giving them information on how they can protect themselves so that they make good choices and not lose their life savings. It's a real problem. I work out of the Consumer Protection Division. We have seen a large increase in the number of individuals who are falling victim to these cons, and there's not much we can do for them. So when they contact our office, it's very frustrating because most of these scams are initiated overseas. They're cross-border scams. So we don't have the ability to go to Nigeria, Jamaica, the Bahamas, and the Netherlands, track down the con artist and retrieve the victim's money. So the best resources that we can offer many times is to go out, educate individuals in front of the scams so that they know to make the best decisions.
So it's education.
Education and empowerment.
Empowerment.
Because if someone is reassured that they're making the right decision, they don't second guess themselves, they're not worrying about it, they're not going to lose sleep. They know it was the right thing to do is hang up the telephone and not worry about whether they won the $1 million or not.
Oh.
They know they're making the right decision, and then they can sleep better.
And it's amazing. I was telling somebody this morning I was going to be, have you back on the show. And I was so excited. And she said, well, ask her about this. So she showed me this email that she had gotten. It might have been a text or an email that had been sent to her phone through, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, it was talking about somebody who wanted her to send her. She does promotional products, and it was like, she goes, I'm sure this is a scam. And I said, yeah, it probably is. But what a job you have in your department, and the 5 of you in your department, right, to get to these 92 counties. You're very busy, and I know you're very passionate about what you do, and it's obvious because I've spent enough time with you. It's very obvious. And you know what? I've got some of these notes. Tell us just a little bit, and we're going to dig a lot more in deeper.
Right, let's just start with the basics.
Yes.
And let's
I'll
talk
let you.
about what scammers
Right, exactly.
They want you to send them money. So usually scammers don't like to work too hard. So we have found that they usually ask the victims to wire them money. So if they're in Jamaica, they may have actually told you they're here in the United States, maybe in New York City, Florida, Washington, D.C., or even here in Noblesville. But they're going to ask them to wire money, and they will do the research ahead of time, look up the victim's address, and know exactly where the closest Western Union office is or MoneyGram.
Right.
And you can wire money anywhere in the world these days, and anyone can pick that money up. The problem is it's just like sending cash, literally. So if you're sending to a stranger, when they pick that money up, they're not leaving a signature, a name, a telephone number, a fingerprint. Nothing. It's like Casper the Friendly Ghost picking up that money. We cannot track down the recipient and retrieve your funds. A second way that they like to receive funds, they love to individuals to share their bank account information and try to do payments over the phone, and you never ever want to give your routing number and checking account number over the phone to a stranger. But another way that they request funds, they're called Money Pack or Green Dot cards. They instruct the victim to go to Walgreens, CVS, Walmart. You purchase these cards for $4.95. They're just like a little debit card, and you can load up to $500 per card. So if the scammer is asking you to send $2,500, they're going to ask you to send 5 of those cards. And then you're going to go home, wait for the call, they'll call you, and then one by one you'll scratch off the gray box on the back of the card, relay that number to the scammer, and he's going to spend that money instantly through the computer. Either he'll transfer the funds over to a PayPal account or go to apple.com and buy iPhones and iPads. We cannot retrieve that money for you. Again, that is just like sending cash. I am aware that they are in the process of changing the name of the Green Dot cards over to vanilla cards. That's going to be happening in the year 2015, so if you hear anything about vanilla cards, the red flag should also go up. But again, the type of transfer that they're asking for this money, it's very easy for them, but it's not easy for us to try to retrieve it or track and see who actually picked up those funds.
You know what? I think it took me until you just said that. Of course it's going to be hard. You can't get that money back. It's gone. It's gone. Oh my goodness. And it seems so sensible, but it's not so sensible. I mean, when you're getting somebody actually approaching, oh, well, sure, I'll send them. No,
They're very convincing.
Yes, they are.
Very convincing. They're very good at what they do, and they are the nicest people in the world. And they know how to victimize individuals and convince them to do something they shouldn't be doing.
Exactly. And I know there's all kinds of things we're going to have. I'm actually going to, I'm going to hand the mic over to Barb Hook of Hook Connect, who does Hook Connections here on Hamilton County Television. And she does a lot of work directly uses the resources that you wonderful people provide and actually we want to make sure they do know how to find. What is the website?
It's indianaconsumer.com. We have all sorts of tools and information that individuals can access. And then my telephone number, if someone's interested
it's
in
right on
additional information, right on the screen as well, the 234-6668.
Okay. Well, we're going to, like I said, we're going to come back in just a minute, 2 minutes, and I'm going to hand the mic over to Barb Hook so she can, you can dig a little bit deeper, and I'll see you again in a few minutes. Be right back.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Welcome back to Jennifer to the Rescue. My name is Barbara Hook with Hook Connect, and I actually host the show that's on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon called Hook Connections. And we just try to bring on those honest service providers after we've done our due diligence to make sure that they are not bad guys. Michelle, it is so great to see you again. I haven't seen you since last year, and I learned so much. I direct a lot of people to the Attorney General's website to research companies before they go to hire them. And I know it's a little bit different situation today that we're talking about is some of the other fraudulent things that occur and how people are ripped off. One of the things you guys just talked about earlier was the money scams. And I have a neighbor who has a 93-year-old father, and he was scammed for over $70,000. And he is a person that just believed people, and he just kept sending money. And it's just really sad. You know, what does a 93-year-old man do who's living on a limited income? So I totally agree with what you guys do out there. What are some of the ways that you can, how do these fraudsters convince people to send the money? I mean, they pretend to be people. I know every once in a while you'll see stuff on TV. If you get a call from the IRS, they don't call you. I mean, you know, if you get an email, they don't send you emails. So could you go over that and tell us a little bit about that?
Fraudsters love to impersonate official offices, government officials, your bank, your credit union. So the first thing I want to warn individuals about is not using caller ID to verify or validate incoming calls. Fraudsters use a device called Magic Jack, and they can manipulate and change the words that come across your caller ID display and the numbers.
Wow.
And if they're going to contact you and impersonate the IRS, many times they will look up a number for the IRS, even a local number with the same area code as yours, and put that across the caller ID. So never do business on the phone with incoming callers. That's very important. If you want to do business on the phone, you place the call out to a number that you know belongs to the IRS, Social Security office, your local bank, your credit card company. On the back of each of your credit cards, there's always a telephone number listed that you can call, usually 24 hours a day, and that's the number you want to call when you want to do business with your credit card company.
Absolutely.
I cannot stress that enough.
Well, and the IRS, if I remember right, will never call you. They
send certified
unless you're
letters.
Returning calls, they
Yes.
send letters. Yeah.
Yes, and the FBI will not call you.
Right.
You know the
They'll
FBI.
be at your door.
Yeah, they'll be knocking down your door. So, you know,
Right.
it's real important. But you know, it's real easy to fall for these tactics, and especially our older citizens. They're very trusting.
Absolutely.
They are very law-abiding citizens, and they want to make sure that they don't owe anyone money or they're breaking any rules. And it's real important for us to encourage them to step back and analyze situations before they jump in and make the wrong decisions.
Absolutely. I totally agree. You know, the part of what we do on an everyday basis, you know, we read in the newspaper who hit the lottery. We, you know, see articles about people that hit lotteries and they lost all their money in 2 years. How are lotteries involved with the fake fraudulent people too?
Well, an official lottery, you're going to know if you entered that contest.
Right.
You either purchased a ticket or you filled out a sweepstakes form. It's not something that you're going to win without knowing that you are part of the contest. So that is an area where we see the largest number of dollars lost is the fake lottery and sweepstakes calls.
Amazing.
The number one group that the scammers like to impersonate is Publishers Clearinghouse.
Mm-hmm.
And many times they will call and act like they're Publishers Clearinghouse, but I've also worked with some victims where the initial call, the scammer pretended to be an FBI agent. And
my.
they said that the victim had one Publishers Clearinghouse, $4.6 million, but someone in the mailroom at Publishers Clearinghouse and intercepted the notification they had collected the money and they had taken the money to Madrid, Spain. And they wanted the victim to wire money to Madrid, Spain to get the money back into the country so that they could help her collect it. And this particular victim that fell for this scam knew it did not sound on the up and up, and she actually called her local police department and she told them about it, and she told the scammer, I'm going to report you to the local police. So several days later, the scammers called back, pretended to be the local police, changed the caller ID, looked up a number, looked up an actual sergeant's name in the Fort Wayne Police Department, told her that not to send the money. You know, this is Sergeant Meeks.
Wow.
This is a scam. Don't send money. And then called back several days later, pretended to be Sergeant Meeks again, convinced her to send the money, told him he was wrong. He had done the research. She did win, and she needed to send the money to collect the huge package back. So they use many tactics with the fake lotteries and sweepstakes, but there's a couple rules I want all of your viewers to always remember. Rule number 1, it is illegal for you to play or win a contest in another country. So if someone's contacting you, telling you that you've won the Australian sweepstakes, the Irish lottery,
Right.
if it's in another country overseas, hang up that telephone. It is illegal for you to play it, and it is illegal for you to win it. So you don't have to be stressed out about that. Just know that hang up the telephone. The second thing I want everyone to remember, if it's a legitimate contest, the organizers of that contest will never ever ask you to send money to collect the prize, whether you've won a laptop computer, a free trip, a car, or $1 million. If it's legitimate and it's on the up and up, any taxes, handling fees, processing fees will all come out of the winnings, and you will have that opportunity to pay, or you will have the opportunity to pay the taxes later on April 15th when you file your taxes. Or you can even ask for an extension.
Absolutely.
And have your accountant help you with all that. So as soon as someone asks you to send money to get a prize, hang up that telephone. You know it's not legitimate. Now, having said that, if someone tells you that they're willing to send you a check to cover the taxes and the handling fees or custom fees or processing fees,
I'm sure that check is good, right?
the check is no good. And, you know, the account is probably not existent, or if it is, they haven't loaded the $3,500 in there that they're requesting. The problem is our financial institutions are not able to determine if a check is good or not.
Absolutely.
So you take it into your bank or your credit union. You might even wait 10 days and you don't hear anything back. So, okay, I think I can go ahead and wire them the $3,500. But it's real important to understand that fake checks may take up to 6 months to bounce. So you may not even know for 6 months that that check that you took in was no good, and that financial institution's going to withdraw the $3,500 out of your account immediately. No questions asked. And in the meantime, you've wired the scammers money, and you've probably continued to wire the money. You've probably started to trust them. You're concerned about getting your initial investment back, and they'll call back and say, now you've won $10 million instead of $1 million, and they need this amount of money from you. So it's never ending. But be very careful. The fake lotteries and sweepstakes, we see a lot of money lost with those.
Right. Wow, that's kind of scary. The thing that really disturbs me is, we need to take a real quick break, and we'll be back in the next segment interviewing Michelle Mayer. Michelle, could you tell them again the phone number where an individual can call the Attorney General's Office for Consumers?
It's area code 317-234-6668 is actually my direct line.
Okay, great. And we will be right back.
Okay, thanks.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Welcome back to Jennifer to the Rescue. It's a great honor to be able to actually kind of co-host the show with her today. We have one of my favorite departments in the state of Indiana. The Indiana Attorney General's Office is our guest today. Michelle Mayer, thank you, and it's great to see you again. You know, one of the scams we talked about when we saw each other before was some of the imposter scams, and I know the one that really hits home for me the most, because I'm a grandparent, is the grandparent scam. Could you just let the consumer know exactly what some of these scams are and what to beware of?
Sure. The grandparent scam is when someone contacts an individual and they pretend to be a grandchild, and they claim that they've been in a car accident or they're in Mexico and they've been arrested, and they're asking grandma or grandpa for money. And usually these calls come in the middle of the night, and whenever we get a call in the middle of the night, we instantly panic and maybe not make the best decisions. But we may not be able to hear very well either, and not recognize that that's not actually your grandson. It's amazing when I've talked to victims how closely these individuals sound like their grandchild. Many times they've found out personal information about the victim and they know their grandson's name.
Oh my.
If they don't, as soon as they say grandma, the person usually says, "Stephen, is that you?" or "Robbie?" And then they instantly know the grandchild's name. So again, they instruct them to send money to bail them out of jail or get their car repaired. If the grandparent says, "Robbie, this doesn't sound like you," many times they'll say, "Well, I was in a car accident. I've had some damage to my face, so I sound, a little different." But it's real important for individuals to know just to hang up the phone, call Robbie or Stephen's parents. He's probably in bed, asleep, safe and sound. These victims that we have seen, they feel rushed. The callers are very good at making them feel an urgency, and they say, "Don't call and tell mom and dad." I recently worked with a victim who sent $7,500 from the initial call. And then the next day, the scammers called back again and told him that his grandson had shared a cell with someone from the drug cartel in Mexico, and he had overheard some important, valuable information, and they feared for his life. So they wanted to put him in witness protection and instructed the grandfather to send an additional $40,000, which he did. So
oh my goodness.
It's amazing what individuals will do for their grandchildren. But just be overly diligent. If you have a relationship with the grandchild and you think, that you've told them call grandma or call grandpa anytime, make sure you have a passphrase or something, maybe a line from your favorite song that they would relay to you, or have that person relay to you, to make sure that it's them.
Or if you have a nickname for them, that can be a password or something like that they probably won't know. Wow,
yes.
That's scary. Wow. Are there any other imposter scams that are out there?
Definitely. We have the fake debt collection scam, where someone will call and pretend to be a business, and they may have hacked into a database so that they know you have a credit card with this company, or you used to have a credit card with them, or you took out a payday loan with a company, and they'll try to convince you that you never fully paid off the debt. It's usually not very much money, maybe $10 or $15, But what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to share your personal account information from your bank, or they're trying to get you to send them a personal check. And what they'll do many times with these checks is they'll wash them. So they'll erase who they made the check out to and put either cash or someone else's name, and even change the dollar amount, but they'll keep your signature intact. So you never ever want to fall for these fake debt collection calls. If it's a legitimate collector, tell them you want something in writing. And if you've applied for a line of credit with them in the past, or the file that they're calling about, they'll be able to contact the reporting agencies and get your current address. If they ask you for an address, just go ahead and hang up the phone. You know it's not legitimate, but you have the right, even if you owe them the money, to request something in writing.
Wow.
We've also seen recently a lot of calls where someone is told that they missed jury duty and they need to go out and get a Green Dot card for $200, or they're going to be arrested.
I think I saw that on your Facebook
That was
page.
just recently.
Yeah.
And then another calls, we always see the fake IRS calls, and ironically, there's also a lot of fake emails that look like they're coming from the IRS. And like I said before, if the IRS wants to contact you, they're going to send you a certified letter. They're not going to call you. So it's really important.
Another good way on the emails is just to hover your mouse over the actual email address that it was coming from,
and see where it
hover
originated.
over a place that says update your account, because AT&T, I've been getting them all the time, and they're not even AT&T emails. So yeah.
And last February, we also saw a lot of calls in the Indianapolis area where they pretended to be a utility company, and it was on those bitterly cold days, and they were telling individuals that they had not received their gas or their electric payment. So they were telling them that they had to pay $300 by 3 o'clock, or they were turning off their electricity or their gas.
Wow.
So those were all imposter calls. Wow. There's also the fake Microsoft or Windows calls.
Oh, yeah.
And usually these come in the evening. It's usually someone with a very thick Indian accent, and they claim to be with Microsoft, and they have detected a virus on your computer. And they want to charge you $125, which they'll request a credit card number so that they can go in and fix your computer. And in the process, if you fall for that, they will direct you to go to a website, and they will gain access to your computer and then go into your device and see what information they can pull. If you've recently filed your taxes and you've saved those files to your computer, they'll be able to access those. They can pull down your address book, or put a spyware or keystroke memorizer on your computer, and hope that in the next few days you'll check your bank account or check some retirement account somewhere, and they'll be able to get your login and password. Right. So Microsoft folks, they're very smart, but they are not that smart that they know that you have a virus on your computer and they're personally going to call you. So do not fall for that scam.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the part about the IRS is the scary part, because I think people, especially around this time of year, you know, it's close to filing for their taxes and right after filing season, can just briefly go over some of the IRS scams.
Well, number one, it's not clicking on something you shouldn't click on. So if you do get an email and it looks like last year I filed my taxes on April 15th. I waited till the last day, and the very next day I got an email, one of these fake emails that said it was from the IRS, and I actually should have received a refund, and they wanted my bank account information. So I knew better than that. I mean, I paid my taxes the day before. I had my secure login for the signature.
Don't you wish it would have been a refund?
Yes, but I knew not. But, you know, someone may fall for that because we're just now getting used to filing things electronically. Absolutely. And you gave the IRS your email address, and you just sit your taxes in. So that's a perfect example of where they're taking advantage of the time of the year and sending all those out the day after the due date. Right.
Well, it was great seeing you, Michelle, and Jennifer's going to take care of the last segment, and we will be right back.
Great. Thank you.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Well, I am back. I don't look like Barb Hook, do I? I'm Jennifer Johnson, Jennifer to the Rescue, and this has been a special edition of Jennifer to the Rescue. I've just been, and I'm sure everybody that's been watching or involved here is just amazed at the things that are going on. This is Michelle Mayer, and she is with the Attorney General's Office of Indiana. And she's the director of outreach. And if you've been viewing, you know all about this stuff. But I just get the wonderful pleasure of kind of wrapping it all up. But we got some things to cover first. So how did these scammers get our contact information? How does that happen?
Well, more than likely, they've purchased it.
Oh, they really buy it.
You know, about a year ago, Target experienced a data breach.
Exactly.
So it was over 100 million individuals' personal information was released out to third party. Well, the third party then has different options and things they want to use that information for, but many times they will sell off individuals' names, telephone numbers, if they have email addresses or mailing addresses, to another party who wants to call and try to scam them. But we've also found that many times magazines will actually sell contact information. So that's one of the first things I want to do is warn your viewers, when you subscribe to a magazine, do not give them your first name. Only give them a first initial and your last name. That way, if they call you, if they sell it to someone who's going to call you, they're not going to know whether to ask for Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith. They don't know if you're a man or a woman. If you take several magazines, consider putting each magazine in a different pet's name so that you can track and you know, okay, this magazine sold my information because they just called and asked for Fluffy or Fido, or I just got a letter for Sparky.
Yeah.
Also, do not give a magazine company your telephone number or your email address. They do not need that information. They need your mailing address.
No
you want that
email
magazine to get into your mailbox every month.
Sorry. Yeah.
They don't need the additional information.
So no email and no phone number.
Right.
Okay.
And from now on, when you're asked to fill out registration forms or any type of form requesting personal information, stop and think, does this group or business really need my email address, my telephone number? If you have a mobile phone and a home phone, never put both of those, and never list your mobile phone as a mobile phone. Many of us have given up our landlines and we only have mobile numbers. Just put that under the home number, and that way they won't try to text you or know that that's a mobile telephone number. But
sometimes you don't have a choice but to share personal information, but in some instances, do the best that you can to try to guard it. If you are throwing out old pill bottles, make sure you remove the label, because there's a lot of information on that bottle, including your doctor's name, and a lot of times your pharmacy where you filled the prescription. If somebody gets a hold of that, they may call and pretend to be your doctor, or they might try to send you free diabetic shoes because they recognize that you're taking prescription medication for a certain ailment. But just from now on, think about that before you start throwing things away. Make sure you shred personal documents. Your kids always want to know what you want for Christmas, Mother's Day, your birthday. Tell them a cross-cut shredder, maybe even ask for 2 so you can,
That's a great
can have
idea.
them in a couple different places in your house.
That's a great idea.
So that as
Yeah.
soon as you get junk mail and you want to shred it, you can just put it through the shredder.
Oh, that is a great idea. I think that's a new tidbit. You didn't share that last time. So what do you do if you're a victim?
Well, if you are a victim of a scam, or if you get a phone call and you're not quite sure what to do, you can contact our office. If you actually lose money, you definitely want to go to ftc.gov and file a complaint.
Is it .gov or .org?
I believe it's .gov.
Okay.
But
That's okay. ftc.gov.
.gov.
Okay.
You want to go there and file a complaint, and you can file a complaint with our office as well. More than likely, if it's a cross-border scam, we may not be able to do much for you. Now, in the course of all of this, if a scammer has convinced you to share your social security number and you are vulnerable for identity theft, then you might want to take additional steps and actually lock down your social security number and put a security freeze on it so that someone can't use it to open up a line of credit. And all of this information is on our website at the indianaconsumer.com page. But again, you want to report it if you can, and you don't want to be re-victimized. So I want to warn your viewers, even if you've just sent a few $100s or a couple $1,000s, and then the light bulb goes off and you know that you made a mistake, if you used a personal check or shared that information, contact your financial institution and get an alert put on your account and maybe even get it changed. Again, if you shared personal information, keep track of what you shared. But don't fall victim, because a lot of times then the scammers know you're onto them, and then they'll call back and pretend to be the police or the FBI and say, we want to help you get your money back, but we need you to go ahead and send another check just like you did before to the exact location. We're going to have someone stationed there. They're going to do a sting operation and catch the scammers. And it's just the scammers calling you back, trying to convince you to repeat the same step that you lost the money previously. So always be very careful about re-victimization.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so it is definitely education and empowerment.
Yes.
Is what we said in the very beginning. And your job has got to be, I can't even imagine. Every day you're probably running into things, and some of the things that you've shared today are different things than what you shared, or more current, and so it's continuing to happen. So if they go ahead,
and I want to also give our main office number,
yes,
just in case you just want to run an idea by someone and you want to make sure you get a hold of someone, because I travel quite a bit. But our main office number is 1-800-382-5516. And we have some very talented individuals that work at our call center, and they've heard it all, and they're very good. If you just want to double check and get a second opinion, you can call them and talk to them about it.
Now, it's not really following the script necessarily, but just to kind of, you are looking for opportunities to educate.
Yes.
So if somebody is needing a speaker for a group, you have a team of 5.
And we would love to come share this information with your group, a Kiwanis group, Lions, a church group. All of our services are totally free, and they would just email me or call me, and we can get it on our calendars.
So would that be on the indianaconsumer.com?
Yes, or they
website.
can call my direct line, the
direct.
234-6668. If I don't answer, they can leave a message and
You know,
I get
it's really
back
nice
to them.
that you're giving a phone number out, because I'm thinking some offices would probably say, "Oh, just check our website." You're not, but that's not your
No,
job.
no,
Your job is to
no.
be reachable and to
Yes.
be able to get out.
Yes,
into
we
the-
want to get this information out to as many people as possible.
Yes. Well, we're hoping. I'm just planting the seed that we'll have you come back maybe in, I don't know, whenever, every quarter or something. I want to thank Barb Hook for helping me today. It was kind of a special edition. We planned this one a long time ago because we knew we wanted to get the information out. And if you go to jennifertotherescue.com, I'll make sure that I revisit all this and put the phone numbers, because I think I did that last time. And I know that Barb Hook with Hook Connections and Hook Connect has information on her website. But one more time, indianaconsumer.com, and the phone number. I am sorry, my vision is terrible.
234-6668.
Easy one to do. Thank you, Michelle, for coming. And the phone, they're ringing already. They're calling you. Maybe nobody else can hear that. One real quick thing we do want to say, Mother Nature has been kind of, it has imposed certain restrictions this week, because Mike Corbett with the Hamilton County Business Magazine should have had a show on Monday, but he wasn't able to do that because of the weather. His home show is this weekend at the Hamilton County Fairgrounds, and it is on January 17th and 18th. If you're watching this on demand, you may have already missed it, but that is from 9 to 5 on the 17th of January, and the 18th it is from 10 to 4, and it is $5 admission. In the current, I guess there's an ad to get to get 2 admissions for the price of 1. So if you're lucky to find a current around. I know, Michelle, you basically said, and we're just going to, I think this is a good way to end it, the 2 main points. I'd written them down before, because I tell people all this stuff, so it didn't get wasted on this brain, I've been sure. It really hasn't. Just say it again. One more.
Do not send money to strangers.
That just kind of makes common sense, but I've done that.
And
Not
do not share
recently.
personal information with strangers.
Yeah.
Do not do business on the phone with incoming calls.
Okay.
Always hang up, look up the number for that agency or office. Then you can place the call out. If they're pretending to be your credit card company, you can call and say, "Hey, I want to talk to someone in the fraud department," and then they can tell you if somebody called you or not, and then you can feel comfortable doing business on the phone.
Okay.
I cannot stress that enough. If you were working on the computer, be very careful not to click on things quickly. Try not to do business on your smartphone and look at emails, because you're not able to see a big enough screen to make the right decisions on whether you want to open up an attachment. It's very easy to look and see who sent that information
Right.
by looking at their actual email address, and it may not be from Barb Hook. If you look to the right, that's not her email address. And like Barb said, you can hover
Yeah,
over
exactly.
a link and see where it originated.
Yeah, she's not in it. And
Yeah.
so, with that said, you can't win a lottery in another country, can you?
No, you cannot win a lottery in another country, and you're never going to be asked to send money to get the price. So as soon as they say that you have to send money, and they're always very convincing, and they have specific rules, well, this law just changed, so now you do have to send money. No. If they're asking for money up front, just hang up the phone.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. It's kind of sad but what a great thing you guys do. What a wonderful service. And we thank you very much for making time. And we will try to get you back in a few months, and I'm sure you'll have new things. I know identity theft is a whole different department, or not department.
And we can come back and talk
but
about
we can
that.
talk. We can focus on that. And just want to say thank you for sticking around today. It's been a great show. Thank you so much, Barb Hook. Thank you so much,
Thank you for
Michelle
having
Mayer
me.
and Wofford Theater and Logan Street Signs and Banners. And we'll be back. Now, Jennifer Johnson, Jennifer to the Rescue, is actually on Tuesdays at noon now. Barb Hook is going to be coming up here before too long with Hook Connections. And we'll just see you all soon, and Happy New Year.